It's a beautiful Tuesday here in the capital, Accra. You're welcome to another edition of GH today. And thankfully, I don't walk alone. I walk with the Bonfo.
Was that even necessary? Okay. Was that necessary? You are allowed into 2 hours. You people. Now people are suing and they are getting 200K. I will sue you people.
But is that not the fact?
I will sue you people.
Sue me for defamation. Well, my defense is the truth.
Yes, it's the truth. But whose truth? Who has asked you to say
well,
my truth?
there's evidence. At least the children will come and say that. Anyway.
But I'm not giving you any ring. For this.
So those of you who promised people marriages and failed, now there's precedent.
Charlie, don't buy ring, go. Don't buy ring.
Even if you say it in a text and she can prove it in court that you said you were going to marry her, I will take you to court and I will demand my pound of flesh. So those of you who promised me, you are duly served.
Hey. But if I've said I'll marry and I change my mind.
You change your mind. You make me invest my time. Hey.
This matter, we'll get there.
Anyway, we'll talk about all these and more. We'll also talk about the Russian tourist in the alleged videos circulating, who's circulating intimate videos of himself and Ghanaian nationals. And then the Kenyans are equally coming after him. The Russian embassy in Ghana has released a statement.
Please.
Or a semblance of a statement.
As for that thing, whoever wrote it for the Russian embassy, I think the person did them a great disservice.
It was translated into English.
From Russian? Okay, maybe.
So the translation didn't go.
It got lost in translation.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So statement in transit.
Very, very empty. Extremely empty. Like.
They have taken note of it.
So?
So your concerns, they have taken note of it.
You know
you
what?
have concerns.
It's a Tuesday. I'm trying to be very calm this morning, but a lot of things are getting on my nerves.
Oh, serious on.
No, your fans means so chrome hard though.
Hey, it's a Tuesday, I think.
You know, I'm serious, Kaka. Now this one there, it doesn't really.
Yes, so on a beautiful Tuesday morning.
Okay, Lily, continue.
Let's motivate you.
Well, the quote for this morning is from Oprah Winfrey. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. In fact, as a continent, it's been one of our challenges. We've allowed other people to tell our story. But thankfully, now we are telling our own stories. And so as an individual as well, you make sure that you are the one defining that script. You are the one putting pen to paper. You are the one giving people what to say about you. Don't let people be the ones to say, oh, wait, what to say. You're like this, you're like that. And so now you model your life in view of what people say you are. So clearly, write your own script.
Don't let anybody waste your time. Anybody who wastes your time, take them to court. Now there's precedence. The law will protect you. Write your own story. Be a funny court.
We'll send it viewers. When I send it viewers, can you use that as evidence?
Well, there are so many ways to kill a cat.
But you should stop promising the girl's marriage. What is that? Small. You want to see? I've always said and I've maintained that. Listen, tell her I like you. I want us to run things, but don't say because you know some women want to get married. So oh Charlie, I'll go marry you. Then you buy promise ring. Then you go down on your knees. Stop that. I mean, I've got daughters, and
4 of them actually.
You know what? Let's go to court. But then, of course, it's going to be an interesting show this morning. Quite a lot of things to talk about. And we are gingering up for a lot as well. And so welcome aboard the show. Let's check out our video of the day. It's a Tuesday. Kwabna, Abna. Yeah, let's look at how the video goes.
Fire, 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 fire. Small God.
What else?
Mind blown. Braka, braka.
Yeah,
I like when Code Mickey gives him the accolades. Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to be found wanting. But if we are found wanting, we'll go and represent ourselves in court. Well, Captain has joined us this morning. Captain, good morning.
Good morning, Lily. Good morning, Joshua.
Good morning, Quinote.
Have you seen an own goal before?
An own goal?
An own goal, yes.
Yeah, I have actually.
Which match?
Oh, I don't remember.
Lily, have you seen an
Yeah, but I've seen an own goal.
Too many times.
Yeah.
How does it feel like when you consider an own goal? If your team probably consider
It's so painful, eh?
It's painful, eh?
Yeah.
So I remember there was a certain match. At the end of the game, the team that lost has scored 3 goals. Ended up losing the match. That is how painful it is.
Yeah.
You guys have started discussing a very important topic that this morning we are zooming into. And yesterday, Justice Sedinam Awo Wadam sent social media buzzing. The reason social media was breaking down was a certain judgment that the court yesterday gave. Circuit Court 7 in Accra. And somebody will ask, why is the Justice of the High Court doing at the Circuit Court 7? So for those who will see, Justice Sedinam Awo Wadam is the one on your screen. She was a magistrate at the Lekma District Court, left there to Adenta Circuit Court. Then she came to the Circuit Court in Accra, Circuit Court 7. And she's one of the new judges, the Circuit Court judges who were elevated to the High Court quite recently. And when you talk about issues of marriages, divorce cases, she's an expert in that. She's actually handled a couple of them, number of them. And so there was a conference that I attended some time ago about marriage, a marriage conference. And you could see her expertise on the field. So some of us were not surprised when we saw the judgment yesterday, the decision and what went into the judgment. But what's the issue? The reason I talk about the own goal was that the plaintiff, Vince Kunto, went to court. And the reason he went to court was that he was in a relationship with a woman. Now, at some point in time, the relationship has got sour. And at the time, the lady was in an apartment that he or they built. And in his view, the only reason the woman will have to be in that apartment is as long as that relationship existed. But once the relationships have broken down, then too long, you have to go. So he went to court seeking an order for an injectment, for the court to inject or eject the woman from the apartment so that he will have his way or his freedom or his property and then move on. Then there was a counter claim. So you sue and then you also sued. Yes. So that is the context of this case. So what is this case all about? What was the nature of the case before the court, which ended up a judgment against the man who went to court? So that's why I spoke about have you seen an own goal? So he went to court, and then at the end, but I'm sure that if he knew this was the outcome, he wouldn't have gone to court. But what are the issues? Now, and pay attention to the issue that he has even raised in his application or his writ for ejectment. The first one he talked about, so this is fact established during the subsistence of the relationship. The plaintiff provided funds to the defendant so the defendant is the woman, for the purchase of industrial machinery and a vehicle to facilitate her mobility and business activities. At some point in time, you notice the man wasn't in Ghana. So it was the woman who was in Ghana, and then both of them were trading in the activities. The plaintiff contributed financially towards the education of the defendant children. So the woman has children, and the man has been taking care of them as well. The plaintiff...
But didn't he do it willfully? Did anybody force him?
No, once you are in a relationship with somebody, somebody said if you rent a room with a mouse, then you have to learn.
You are in a relationship with me.
Mm-hmm.
Marry me, marry my dog, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. So the man was actually doing that. So he provided funds to support that. So that's what is clear. So the plaintiff remitted funds for the construction.
So as you're going through, young men out there, be listening, be taking.
This is not about young men out there.
I'm just
young
saying.
women out there too. Now we have the power.
But let me clarify.
If anybody promises to marry you, he doesn't marry you.
It's okay. Lily, we are not there.
You even go to your parents.
Lily.
As he's going to your mother, tell your mother that record him. Record him for future purposes.
So the young men out there, when she's coming with 3 children, 4 children, to just pay attention to what we are. Let's go chronologically. So point by point.
So the point Lily is making, you have to be very, very careful because now the court will be dealing with the issues case by case basis. This is not going to give you a general application.
Exactly.
It is based on the circumstances surrounding. And this case, when you at the end, you realize that the circumstances surrounding this whole case is very difficult to question the decision of the judge.
You waste somebody's time for 11 years.
You wait.
Sister.
And word of
at the end of this presentation,
further suitors who will come and marry her.
At the end of the
what is the
presentation,
guarantee that they would have married her?
What is the guarantee that they wouldn't have married her too?
Easy.
It's a 50-50 thing.
But you
are
see,
going.
11 years. By now, she would have been married in somebody's house. You said don't marry.
People to
Stay there and
11
wait
years,
for me.
they've still not they have not married anybody. Nobody has married them. So
it doesn't matter, but maybe somebody would have married her. The same way he saw her and found her worthy of marriage.
Maybe. That's what I'm saying. It's a 50-50
Somebody would have married her. 11 years.
Is it by force?
Yes, somebody would have married her. My brother.
I knew we were going to have this particular matter this morning when I came here. So
don't promise. Don't promise.
The promises must be very tailored or something. Yes. So the plaintiff remitted funds for the construction of a 6-unit, 2-bedroom apartment block situated at North East Legon in Accra. So a very prime place
area
in this country. The defendant undertook the supervision, so the woman undertook the supervision of the said construction project and managed the funds remitted by the plaintiff, by the man. So pay attention to the situation and circumstances which led to the decision of this court. And don't just say that because you are somebody has promised you and just a blanket check you have it. No, it won't work that way.
Thank you.
And that's what Lily should know. Let's go.
That's what Lily should know.
Don't worry.
This particular woman played a certain role. It was not just because she was married and she was promised. No,
she was promised and she wasted her time.
She didn't waste her time.
She was even supervising. She wasted her time. 11 years. You say you marry her, then she went and supervise your building. If she was a contractor, by now she'd be making millions.
So the woman did all this thing because she was in a relationship with somebody. Upon the completion of the project, the plaintiff, that's the man, requested the defendant to take up residence in one of the units.
Such a kind man.
Great. One. The defendant thereupon vacated her residence at Dansuma in 2017 and relocated to North Loop, East Legon, in the property. Now, the plaintiff presented the defendant with a ring to ward off male attention, which said ring the defendant contended was a promise ring. So the defendant is the woman. Contender was a promise ring signifying an intention to marry.
So the man gave her a ring.
Yes.
And her understanding is that this is to ward off prospective suitors.
So why would you ward off prospective suitors?
No, that
if I give you a ring, if I give you a promise ring, the intention is that I'm actually blocking any other person.
Relax.
I am waiting.
Did the man admit that this said ring was a promise ring?
So that's why you need to pay attention.
Exactly.
You need to pay attention. Listen.
So the man was named and described as an in-law.
And that's a mistake.
You hold on.
That is a mistake.
I love this woman.
If the man,
I love this woman. Step by step.
Do you know that by law this is wrong?
How is it wrong?
Has he performed right to indicate that he has married her?
So when they
so if I give you a ring and Yeah, like when your dad passed, then you can't put my name in the obituary.
Why did you accept? Why did you accept?
No, he was abroad. He didn't know. It was printed.
So
you wanted to enjoy the privileges. Now, Mataka, you want to run.
What was your reaction when you saw that?
Who
come to that?
Who allowed the name to be put in the obituary?
The plaintiff was named. The man was named and described as an in-law in the obituary of the woman's late father. He wrote a tribute.
I mean, also the
in the funeral brochure, attended the funeral. Listen, he wrote a tribute. He attended the funeral, donated money, and participated without any demur of objection.
No, he's a kind man.
Objection to his in-law status during that funeral.
He's a kind man.
You admitted everything
I love
that was
this
the role that you are playing, perfecto.
No, he's a kind man.
No, you played the role.
Okay, so we'll see.
You didn't only give a ring.
The parties.
Now you went to the funeral to say, anybody away, this is my woman.
No, he didn't say anybody away. He just he's a
even
very
at the
kind
funeral,
man. Listen,
even at
the
the
basis
funeral,
that the man is very kind.
The woman could have even met somebody else.
Yes.
Now your father is dead, you are coming to look for someone.
That one there, you know me.
We saw one recently. Which one? Is it the former minister for finance?
Oh, John Kuma's late
No,
wife.
that one. I think the story is quite different. It was not at the funeral.
Thank you.
At the program.
No, your father.
The parties cohabited at the Norte Loop East Legon apartment as a couple until the relationship got terminated at the instance of the man, who is allegedly to have indicated his preference for an unemployed woman who can take care of him. So he's an aged man. So now he wants a woman who is not employed, so that a housewife.
Defending this man is difficult.
So the defender resisted a claim for agentment. So the woman, now the woman is also coming in here to also say that, look, I don't accept the man's claim for me to leave the apartment. So he filed a counterclaim for damages for breach of promise to marry. He said, yes, all that you are saying, I will not leave today, I will not leave tomorrow, because you have promised to marry me.
How old is the woman?
So if you look at the judgment, the ages were not mentioned. But my understanding is that they are of advanced age, around
both
50,
of them.
60. Yeah, both of them. Okay. That's why the man is saying that I want somebody who is an unemployed, somebody who is old and can take care of that because he's an aged man. She contended. So the woman contended that the ring given to her was a promise ring that the plaintiff, the man, had repeatedly and unequivocally assured her of his intention to marry her, and that she had acted to her detriment in reliance on those assurances by one. So listen to the assurances that she is saying that the man actually made or gave to her. Warding off other prospective suitors for 1 year. 11 years, sorry. Yes. So the other one is out. So 11 years. And are taking the supervision of the construction of the 6 units Norte Loop East Legon apartment. So let's look at the other slide. Then surrendering her Dansoman residence and independence. So you asked me to move out of my residence, come and take one of the apartments. I have relinquished that. My own privacy, my independency, I have just sacrificed that to come into the apartment. Providing domestic, psychological, and emotional support to the man in the expectation of marriage. The plaintiff admitted, the man admitted giving the ring. He admitted giving out the ring, but maintained that it was given merely to ward off male attention.
Oh, that's innocence.
I don't understand.
And he did continue the thing. He denied making any firm
and denied making
or
any
binding promise of marriage.
So then, what is the purpose of the ring?
So that you can focus on what you have to do. It's not because I want to marry you. He, according to the man, it says he didn't make any.
But ring, what is Shamubusa saying? Will you marry me or what?
He didn't say that. He said
he
didn't say that.
Are there rings that when you give to somebody, the intention is that, Charlie, hold on for me at 1 or 2 years, then I'll move on.
No, sometimes
maybe
you enter gold ball jewelry. You find some nice jewelry there. Then you pick it and say, oh, Charlie, this will look nice on Lily. Then I give it to you. Doesn't mean that I want to marry you.
You are married. I will not accept any ring
Don't
from
forget that they were living as couples. And that number of years
You were cohabiting. You leave
But
your house, go and live in the man's house.
At some point
You
in time,
supervise
you
his
realize.
building.
So young women, don't be leaving your house.
See, I know a lot of women who are going through this.
Exactly.
Who is serious? Now, there's precedence for you.
You guys don't allow. We'll not finish today.
Hey, it's case by case. So the fact that you have left and gone to the man's house doesn't mean that you get 200,000.
It doesn't matter. Maybe they even get 500,000.
You get 10.
Check. Do you know what the women are sacrificing for these men?
No,
I think most of you live abroad. Most of you live abroad. Sister,
I used to
You
do
think that
some
in personal?
I said, you talk from some baby. Why somebody do you some?
No, I'm not leaving my house to go and live anywhere. That one, yeah.
You don't know you like your house.
We need to investigate.
I like my house.
We need to investigate legally. So, and deny making any firm, serious, or binding promise of marriage. So that's the position of the man. The court finds, this is what the court finds on the issue of promise to marry. The court finds and holds that the giving of the ring, when viewed against the totality of the parties' conduct, listen, the totality of the parties' conduct, constituted a serious and unequivocal promise to marry.
Hashtag don't give rings.
The man's explanation that the ring was given merely to ward off male attention was unpersuasive.
Now I agree. Next time,
If
don't give
anything,
ring.
it is confirmed the exclusivity of their relationship, which is the very foundation upon which institution of marriage is built.
Thank you.
Simplicity.
Exclusivity.
Now, let's look at what the court is saying that court is finding and holding in relation to all these things. The court is saying that the circumstances and the conduct of this whole case, the court finds that one, a valid and a binding promise to marry was established from the following: the giving of the ring, the long-term cohabitation of the parties, the financial independence between them, and then the entrusting to the woman of the supervision of the significant construction of a project. I'm not sure you allow anybody, just anybody at all, to supervise your project.
And don't let your name be captured as in-law.
In the future, so
it's been used against you.
The court of law.
So the public naming of the plaintiff, the man, as an in-law in the obituary of the defendant's late father, which he accepted without protest. It's also one of the circumstances the court think that yes, there is a promise to marry. The defender, the woman's act of surrendering her home at Dansoma for the past 9 years in reliance on the promise is a key factor that goes into this very decision of the court. But the court has been, when you are talking about cohabitation and promise to marry and all of that, so the court is giving us some perspective about cohabitation. So when you enter somebody, you move to your boyfriend's home and then you are cohabiting and say that is enough for you to go to court and seek for remedy. This is what the court is saying. The court distinguishes that this case from mere cohabitation without any promise of marriage.
Thank you.
As in the case of, so the court has an instance, there's a decided case that the court want to make reference to. In the instant case, there were specific and overt acts: the giving of the ring, the public acknowledgement, that public acknowledgement of the statement.
Charlie, the man should have the printer should have everything. So you see, young men and young women should be taking note of these things. Women should not be doing those cohabitation in expectation that he would marry.
So stay in your house. You don't like your house.
Stay in your house.
Be like me. I love my house. Stay in your house.
Yeah. And the men, when they call you as so, when they are telling you as so, then your head is sweeting you. If you know you don't have any intention, when they call you so much, now
send this guy. A mother-in-law, a father-in-law.
And they are calling you as
so. Be taking notes.
And then, Marcy, you are excited. No, Marcy on it.
That one. So, obituary and the request to move into the apartment and elevated the relationship to the level of a binding engagement.
Thank you.
Okay, director, go and let's see.
You see, even the case has frozen the machine. The case itself, it is a freezing case. But please, this is one in a million. So don't say that, because now there's precedent, so you two now you're going to do you might be found wanting.
But it doesn't matter. People are allowed to test the law. Somebody tested the law and got judgment in her favor.
You can go and test and end up in matter.
It doesn't matter. the fact that somebody has tested the law, you can equally test the law.
Yes, that one I agree. Yes, but you two don't. You the men don't let anybody to boo you kwasia.
No, but you see that the thing is, if you are a man to a woman
the woman will
has
kill you,
accepted to marry you, and then you'll be paying school fees. You'll be doing this. You go to court. For justice.
People have taken care of people, hey, and they have waited. Now some people have stroke because women said they were going to marry them. They were going to agree. They were going to agree to marry them, and then they did them. They went in for people have paid school fees, university education for girls, and the girls have ended up saying that you are not my. I mean, my school is what I paid. The thing it cuts two ways. It cuts two ways. The way the women are too excited about it, as if
because
it's just
the men
women.
decided not to go to
men
court.
are being condemned in this country.
So you to your man go to court. When tell the judge
this is for all the Zazis. All the Zazis. Justice for Zazis.
If we give today, we won't go. If we want to discuss it, we won't go today.
Justice for the
So
Zazis.
let me give you the decision of the court. We're struggling to project that on the screen, but let me give you the decision of the court by way of these few background that I have given you in relation to this case and what the decision of the court. So the court is making the point out of Justice Sedinam Awokwadam is saying that for the reasons to be fully set out in the judgment, the court hereby orders as follows. So these are the orders of the court. The plaintiff's claim, that's the man's claim for injectment, is dismissed in its entirety, completely, in totality.
They will kill the man,
yes.
Because now we have to save the woman in the house.
This is where the issue of the own goal comes in. You went to court and completely
lost your own case.
You've been defeated. Just like in Kumasi.
The host is still lost.
I told them that this whole week we'll rub it on their face.
Yeah, host and lose. That's
Yes. And then, so the other decisions of the court, then I'll get that one for you in the page by way of the decision.
Into the cracker and say the man has lost the case.
The man has
the woman
lost
keeps
the
her car because the man did not make any request for the car.
Okay, so let me tell you,
such a kind
the
man.
second point is that
Zazie.
the judgment is entered. The judgment is entered for the woman on her counterclaim for breach of promise to marry. The plaintiff, that's the man, shall pay to the woman the sum of 200,000 Ghana cedis, comprising general damages of 50,000 Ghana cedis and compensation for breach of 150,000 Ghana cedis. So that all of them put together, it's 200,000 Ghana cedis. Right. The court is saying that the said sum shall bear interest at the prevailing commercial bank rates from today. That's the day yesterday.
The longer it takes for him to pay,
was given,
the more interest would have to
The court also make a declaration that the defendant, the woman, has a beneficial interest in the 2-bedroom apartment at Nortelu. Currently, and at the interest rate and all of that, the parties are all directed to take necessary steps to regularize their interest in the matter. So now the court is giving the woman, the parties, equal share or shares interest in that property. The defendant, the woman, shall continue to use the Toyota RAV4 vehicle, an industrial blender, since the plaintiff did not lay claim to either of them.
Yeah,
and then
kind man. He didn't say give me the car.
Yes. Come again.
The Kwakwane says she just married a woman. They should go and live there.
So that they'll settle the case.
That's the thing.
When the thing has got it in court, we don't play draw.
Don't worry.
No, it doesn't matter. The court says they should lay claim to the building, right? So they should go and live there together.
So when they disagree, they'll rent it out and then share it.
Yeah, but I agree to be the MC for the reception. I'll be the MC for the reception.
This is an interesting case. It become a landmark case that a lot of law students will make references to. The principles in there, very, very interesting and all of that. Somebody is saying that the man should appeal. We look forward to that.
Yeah. And Pastor Ross says we are cracking him up with the analysis. Good morning.
So this will be all for court today. I know there are a lot of things.
Today, dear, women rising after the Russia did that small.
It's not women rising. It's not women rising.
Women rising. If you decide to show us something, we too will take you to court.
So the
law is the law.
But you see, the problem with the daddies is that they can't take the matter to court. Their wives will know. when they treat them condemn, their wives will know. You can't take them
give you
to
a
court.
You are saying that the woman should go to court. You see that the man was the one. You can go to court, or you have every opportunity to go to court. You can go to court. The man went to court, and what happens?
Ongo. Anyway,
the ladies, you can go. That's for the court. It's there for everyone.
Well, the
You
radio
go
people are
and
waiting
tell
for
the
you.
Lord.
They say come and give them juice. So go and give the juice to the radio people. Mutala, I've scored your own goal for you. Now go. So up next is Inside Out. And today, another interesting topic there. Come with me. Let me show you how I live. We'll be right back. Well, thank you so much for coming with us. It's not funny.
Now that you have joined us.
Let's show you how we live. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is here.
Goodness.
So he is Habibi. He was not in Russia.
That's a good one. That's a good
Ivy,
one. Yes.
welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes. So
While you were
the man
away,
had
some
to
people were
take
going.
one. The man had to take one for the brotherhood, right?
Yeah. Quite unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, but
But
I
it's
see that
good.
the sister-in, you are happy.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
Now we will, but you see, now a man also needs to test the law.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But the man was the one
The
who
man
tested
was
the
the one
law.
who went
No.
to test the law.
Well, yes, the man tested the law and he lost.
He lost,
Now,
yeah.
now we have to get another woman to test the law and then to be ruled in the favor of a man.
Exactly.
Oh, but we
of course,
have
this was
something
a
similar, right?
Promise of marriage, right?
Yeah.
And I think per what Mutara related to, it was much more than just a promise
It was
for
more.
marriage, right? And for
You were
promises.
performing duties of a husband.
Just not promise about 4, but eventually ended with just
Yes.
1. It happens. So
Hey, I can sue you for this. You don't have evidence. Me, those days I didn't promise marriage.
So you know,
So
he
let's
knows
catch
that
cruise.
Mrs. Mensah is watching.
Let's
So he
catch
said,
cruise.
I can sue you. If it is wrong,
I will sue you, Ivy. I will sue you. Charlie.
Of course. But yes, so but that's it. But of course, there are some women too who have been very wicked to men.
Yeah.
On radios, I saw the Makala celebrating related to the fact that there was a woman who married 4 months before informing the boyfriend that I'm married. Woman,
Can you imagine?
she married.
Can you imagine?
They've been doing it to us,
For 4 months.
Before informing the boyfriend that
And the boyfriend was also thinking I'm in a relationship.
Can you imagine?
So during the 4-month period when she was married to one man, she was still with the
so
boyfriend.
she was wicked to 2 men at the same time. 2 men at the
Such
same time. You see,
wickedness.
so-
But did she promise the boyfriend she was going to marry the boyfriend? It's boyfriend relationship. This one, menya and tomenya and for the ways I
It
problem.
reminds me of the lady who took the dick into court.
Yes.
Hey, you see?
Adabla.
Yes, you see?
Deborah,
Yeah.
touch not my dicking.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
my anointed,
Yeah.
but the anointed fell.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It happened. Yes. So you were relating to the Russian, like Joshua said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it created
Joshua's
a whole
friends.
lot of problems.
No, he's not my friend.
But Joshua likes Russia. So
No,
they
I
are
don't.
friends.
Hey, now you're making Charlie, stop what you are
The
doing.
man has created problems for Africa.
Yeah.
Initially, we thought he had created problems for Ghana. No.
He's
it's-
also been in Kenya.
It's not just an ECOWAS problem, sir. It is an African Union problem.
This is an AU problem. I
This is an
think it should have
AU
been discussed at the AU summit.
This is an AU problem. The Kenyan people are not happy. They are also looking for him. Because he went there to do the same thing that he did
His country is at war,
here. Marriages are on the rocks as a result of what he did.
sadly.
Right.
And people's health,
Yeah.
mental health,
Yeah.
are also on the line.
Yeah. So the sector minister for communications, Samuel Nati George, says he summoned Russian ambassador to Ghana to his office.
I think this should be an interministerial thing.
Oh yes, I think
Foreign affairs,
Gender.
yeah,
be
foreign
involved
affairs,
as
gender, and then the communications ministry, because this borders
most
on
definitely.
gender,
And interior.
this
But-
and then the interior, security.
Yeah, he breached our security.
But
Yeah.
how did he breach our security?
he probably might have come in as a terrorist, right? So the,
But he didn't come. He came
Yeah.
as a tourist.
yeah, and
so
he didn't come to work. Okay, now he came to
he's
work.
breached our
Now-
cyber security laws.
1, 2. He was also not supposed to work because he didn't have work permit, right?
Exactly. But he filmed.
But
and
he
then
filmed and then went to
uploaded.
sell.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
So he's worked.
That's work. That's work, right? And I've heard many people talk about the fact that Russia doesn't have the extradition treaty. Blah, blah. No, you see, they missed the point. The point is this: once the man is declared wanted, he will have to be confined to his country of Russia. Because any other country that he goes to, he could be subject for an arrest. You get the point? He could be arrested. And so if for nothing at all, you stop him from doing the things he's been doing.
Or maybe he'll just do it in this country.
And then there are many speculations that I think we must equally address about his health status, whether he's HIV positive.
It has not been ascertained. So let's stop sharing that.
Let's stop who are already traumatized. Don't do that.
Let's stop sharing that information.
Again, stop sharing the
images of these videos. Oh my goodness.
One of the ladies swears with her own blood that nothing happened between the two of them. Right.
That's the real estate agent.
That's the real estate agent.
That she went there to conduct business as usual.
Yes, and that she went there with the permission of even her boss, and her boss knew about the deal because the silly pickup lines that have thrown social media in a frenzy, right? To her, the man said he needed an alternative to where he was lodging, and so they had an understanding, and he visited him. She visited him, sorry.
She saw an opportunity to make money.
Yes.
Exactly.
And sell her business.
And when she went there, he made advances at her, and she said, no, I'm not here for that.
I'm married.
He even offered her food.
Exactly. Russian rice, can you imagine?
Russian rice and chicken. And juice.
And it's good on her part that she didn't take that rice. Only God knows what was in there. Right. So we are on all fours. And we support what government is doing to get justice for these women, right? There are conversations about poverty. No, this has got nothing to do with poverty. See, I know where one of those ladies, I just got to know this morning, works, right? She is not poor. If you work in that place, you cannot be poor. Or if you work in that sector, you cannot be poor. So there's more to it than just poverty. Yes, to some of them, their story will be that they just wanted to find some money. But
a lifeline.
To some of them,
to some of them, to maybe a husband. You know?
Oh yeah,
because I listened to one of the ladies who said that she received a prophecy that should marry a white man.
Yeah.
So once a white man approached her, then this is prophecy to be fulfilled.
And the white man is a white man. It doesn't matter whether you are from
to talk
Russia
about how we practice religion down here.
Yeah. So
But
that prophecy has just sent this woman to do what she's done.
You know, there are so for. Please, we beg you. Sometimes some of these prophecies.
Oh, but what if God had revealed? But God did not say a Russian man. You should have asked.
But so they have to be specific and tell them where you meet your husband. If God has revealed, you should give us the full details. You know.
Not a cramo.
Let's listen to the Communications Minister, Samuel George.
Ministry to send an invitation to the Russian ambassador. I intend to see him this week and have a conversation with him. We're taking a very strong view of it. The individuals involved are not minors. None of them is a minor. They're grown-up adults who made decisions. What the Cybersecurity Authority is interested in, and my ministry is interested in, is not in the moral judgment of the individual. It's in the non-consensual sharing of the videos that were posted online. That is a crime. It's not a crime to be able to convince a man or a woman to go into your room with you in 6 minutes. That's not a crime by the law. That's a personal decision to make. But it is a crime to record a person without their consent. And even when you record and keep it on your phone, and the person finds out and reports to us, we will prosecute you and you go to jail. That's the law of the land. Now, you don't just record it, but you go and post it on a website for financial gain. That gentleman will be looked for. We will activate every resource in our disposal, working with Interpol. The way we've worked with Interpol to extradite Ghanaians to other jurisdictions, we will request the Russian authorities, and that's why I've invited a Russian ambassador, to work with our law enforcement. We want the gentleman to come to Ghana, to be brought back to Ghana, extradited to Ghana, for him to face the rigors of our law. Ghanaian citizens, irrespective of their decision-making, will be protected by their government. And you cannot record a citizen without their consent and air that or post that online. That constitutes a crime under the Cyber Crime Offences Act, the Cyber Security Authority Act.
Okay, so that's the Minister for Communications, Samuel George. saying that there's a lot of talks in place, and then the Russian gentleman will be extradited to Ghana to face the full rigors of the law because he's breached our laws, our cybersecurity laws. I mean, he put out this content and monetized it without the consent of the victims involved. Now they are victims because they did not consent to this. Let's hear from one of the ladies who was involved in this. She has come out to say that nothing intimate happened between herself and the Russian. Let's hear her.
We are real estate agent. You are approaching your counter on who should video now. Who say why you can't enjoy your conversation anymore? I will be some said you work here and I'm saying no, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not so okay, he just got into the country that he wants an apartment where he is expensive, so he would like to move. And I saw that as an opportunity for me to get a client. So he was trying to make advances towards me. And I'm catching and he said, that's not what I'm here for. He called me that he wanted an apartment, so we should discuss it. But if you want other ladies, there are other ladies out there. I can even help him get, because I have a man, like I'm married, Crampo. That's what I told him. But I didn't know, say all this he was recording. I never had sex with him, ma. I never had sex with him. I don't know why my video and this one is everywhere. My family is at stake. My son too. He's so young to be going through this. My mom too. Everything is so messed up. As of now, he wants a divorce because with all the shame, he can't handle it.
All right. So that's one of the victims, Selena. She spoke to social media influencer Nana Donkwatha in a live TikTok interaction there. Let's hear from the gender minister, and then we can see a statement, a semblance of a statement from the Russian embassy.
Few actions have commenced, and prior to these videos coming up, we had commenced discussions with the Ministry of Communication, and we're going to, where a technical team was being formed to look at all of these cyber issues, violence and abuse and all of that. I would say that yesterday, or I would say that the 3 days that this issue came up, it's an awakening call. Ghanaians are so trusting sometimes, and you see that some of the girls were just naive. We are so trusting because that is how we were brought up. I'll beg my young ones coming up. The world is not as we see it. The world has become dangerous. So wherever you are, even in the midst of familiar faces, ensure that your safety is paramount. I will urge us to stop sharing the pictures and the videos. It is not good. You might think that it is fun sharing it, but from where I sit, people can lose their lives because of that. On the side of the ministry, we are collaborating with all the security agencies to ensure that we pull down and then bring the perpetrator.
Okay, so that's Gender Minister Agnes Namomo Latte there. She says there's a lot of collaborations ongoing. Same thing the Minister for Communication said. Let's see a semblance of a statement from the Russian embassy in Ghana. The honest.
I don't know why you're attempting me this morning. Because I have a fundamental problem with this. I mean, for those of you at home, look at your screen. Mm-hmm. Like, what is in this statement? Mm-hmm. It's one sentence. Mm-hmm. It's just one sentence.
Taking note.
The embassy of the Russian Federation in the Republic of Ghana has taken note of the reports in the Ghanaian media on the alleged involvement of a supposedly Russian citizen engaged in sexual activities with some Ghanaian women and recorded and circulated those acts without consent. Full stop.
Are they saying they don't know that the gentleman is a Russian?
That's what they are communicating, that they also have to do their own checks to confirm. And that's not out of place. That is what ought to happen.
They say supposedly Russian citizen.
Exactly, because as at the time the statement was being released, per what we've just been communicated to, you are made to understand that they themselves are not too sure that the gentleman is a Russian. Right.
But he came through the airport.
Relax.
He had a
just
passport.
yesterday,
I'm
Monday. This issue started making the rounds when?
Last week.
How long will it take Russia to know whether they are citizens?
I get you.
Was in the country.
That's the point I'm making. That.
But if
what
the
embassy
citizen of Russia
wanted to
died in Ghana, would they have been quick to know that it was a Russian citizen?
What the embassy is communicating is that it has not confirmed. That's the point I'm making.
How
I'm
long
relating
does it
to
take to confirm
so you
one of
can
the
say
citizens?
that it has taken the embassy too long to confirm. I get that, and I agree with you. But I'm relating to what the embassy is telling you through this communication that it has not confirmed
But
that
if
the
a citizen
individual
had died, how soon would they have been able to confirm?
that you
The
are
person
allowed to
came
ask.
through the airport.
That you are allowed to ask. The other one is that they talk about an alleged, and that is also because there will have to be a verification of the claims being made, right? But I think the statement should have been much more detailed. That we all agree, right? Because you cannot just take note. You can then tell us further that you have initiated processes to first of all confirm the identity of the individual involved, and you are sure the people of Ghana that you do A, B, C, D.
To ensure that
you are ready to collaborate with investigative bodies in
and
Ghana.
relevant stakeholders.
That is it, right? So that's that. But then again, this will be we offering communication consultancy to them. This statement is virtually empty. And then I'm not sure it's done so well to speak to the matter at hand. But back to the lady. The lady mentions that the husband is seeking divorce, but she swears that nothing happened, right? It shouldn't be that difficult to confirm this, right? Because the videos are out. Yes, the videos are out. So the husband can't just wait, find out eventually if indeed the videos that depict the act that many people are talking about, his wife is involved. Given how she swore, I'll be very surprised. He's also
thinking about the fact that somebody could just say, "Come with me." But he should also understand that it is an edited video, so he couldn't have put out the whole, whether he recorded for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, put out the whole 10 minutes video to the general public. So the husband should hasten slowly. This one, it's
Alaji should relax more, because when you listen to the woman, she says the husband is asking for a divorce because of the public backlash as well. So the way the issue has been discussed in the public domain, people will be asking, Charlie, is this your wife? But is your wife this? Those are the kind of things
they need to stick together.
Really get
and that's also because of how the pictures were put together and circulated. Everybody in that particular picture had been pronounced guilty even before anything else, right? And the public commentary, as you mentioned, right? So that's what Sam George is talking about. Even circulating those pictures, strong. Circulating the videos.
Because now the Cybersecurity Authority must take charge of those pictures and videos. They must flag it so that it becomes unshareable. You know, it's sad.
But in all of these as well, young
please
men,
take your personal
young women,
security.
Please. Like the quote of the day, you are the one who writes the script of your life.
Take charge of your life.
Take charge of it. Sometimes you see the whole phenomenon of, and because people have asked questions, if we were a black guy, would the story have been different? If we were a female, would the story have been different?
But Joshua, mind you, there were many who also said no.
I listened to one of the ladies.
The gentleman would not show those videos. But of course, there was a lady in a very... that's not his interest. But at least they showed one lady who said no, right? And you could tell that that's a lady who will stand up for her dignity, right? Many more women should be able to stand up for their dignity. But like I said, there are many women who said no, but it won't serve his interest, so he will not show those videos.
Of course.
Right. But just be cautious. Take precaution.
Absolutely.
Because it could have been anything. It could have been a terrorist.
It could have been a serial killer.
It could have been a serial killer. It could have been a terrorist who was trying to recruit people.
Exactly.
And there was one other woman who followed him to the apartment, but she refused to even get into the elevator to the room. She says, no, just go and come. Whatever we need to talk about, we'll talk about it. And we need to commend those people. And then, but sometimes it's just sad.
all in all, your personal security should be paramount. It should be your topmost priority. I think that in Ghana, we throw security to the dogs. People act haphazardly. Please, this is a wake-up call to all of us, not just the women, even to the men and parents out there, to your children. Let's ensure that we are adequately safe. That should do for Inside Out. Let's look at what the papers are reporting this morning.
Oh, okay. So Daily Satellite. Let's quickly rush through the papers. Sammy Crab throws hat into NPP chairmanship race again. Yes, and then there's a cartoon here. Now this guy go do for me? Question. Yes, announcer's view. And then Ghana mourns Burkina slaughter. Closely monitor how banks manage your funds. Depositors urged, and minority accuses government of strategic distraction as cocoa price cut sparks political firestorm. That is it for the Daily Satellite.
The Dispatch says there's going to be a reshuffle soon. NDC's Fifi Kwete, IGP Tetoyono clears a backlog of over 12,800 police promotions. Oh, that's a good one. Seal Napo's running mate slot before lobbying begins. Musa superior to Valmia.
I agree.
You agree, huh? Yeah, I agree too.
The Archives says GHOne VRCC to build modern factory in Volta, target markets in Togo, Benin, Nigeria, and others. Tramadol peddling syndicate arrested after 50,000 cedi bribe failed. Wow. DVLA onboarding team conducts outreach at Bema camp and grave to steal 85-year-old woman's body. Oh, Imambo. Don't even know what they are looking for.
Daily Graphic this morning. We can't wait forever for AFCFTA. AGR demands alternative regional trade access. And if you followed me, you realize that I have always maintained that after it's becoming a failure.
Yeah, it has
all that we have is a beautiful edifice with a South African in there as the head, with the title His Excellency. Nothing more, nothing less.
You know, yesterday, Ataisa, the Sagnergo MP, he says, listen, we should consider, even if West Africa can get even 4 countries come together, let's start something, and then let's build from there. If you're waiting for the full materialization of
this
AFTA,
wholesale
we'll be here for a long
thing is
time.
not helping us.
Let's even demand
Since
that
2019,
we are updated on how much of our goods have been transferred to other countries as a result of AFTA, and vice versa.
You don't even have rail from Accra to Lagos.
Anyway, AU endorses President Mohammed's resolution for reparative justice.
Way to go.
Yeah. Of course, you know my opinion on this as well. I believe that the days of slavery gone. They didn't put a gun to our heads. Our own forebears sold us, right? So it's gone. Nobody should be paid anything. Right? That's my opinion. Nobody should be paid anything. Let's go back to Daily Graphic.
Lily, let's take it there.
Okay.
Charlie.
Go on there. Continue.
Okay, the Chronicle says sweeping public land reforms, Amabua annuls all uncompleted transactions between 2017 and 2024. Secondly, Takrade water crisis to end soon, that's according to Minister. Skydream Skills Academy hosts third graduation ceremony. Ghana signs MOU with 4Link J to deploy a Kwiafoni Dassault platform. Interesting. That's it for the papers. We take a break. When we return, we sit with our guests to discuss too many issues of national interest. Stay with us. to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. I am Lily Mohammed. It's now time for the breakfast review, and my guests have joined me. This morning, I've been joined by Kwame Jantwa Esquire. He's a leading member of the Convention People's Party. He's also a private legal practitioner. I've also been joined by Anthony Julius. He's government communications person, and Dr. Ezekiel Ejikumobing. He's a member of the NPP communications team. These two gentlemen, I've not seen them. They abandoned me. It's a new year. So you need to apologize to me so I forgive you. So I don't take you to court like others.
It's true. It's better we settle it here before we go to court. It's better we settle it here. So should I do it on our behalf or will you do it by we will be consistent this time. It will be consistent.
Apology accepted.
So you can have the legitimate expectation.
Yeah, that we will be very consistent.
Okay, apology accepted.
Thank you.
I won't have any reason to go to court.
Thank you.
Right. Let's talk about the issues. We start with yesterday's press conference by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, where he talked about the reversal of sale of government land. So if you've bought any government land, know that that decision will be reversed. Let me start from you, Mr. Jantwa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I haven't seen these gentlemen in a while. But I met you recently.
Yes.
My doctor friend, I haven't seen him in a while.
Even last year.
Last year. Immediately you
He went back to attend to patients.
You felt that a better calling than politics. Sale of lands, It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Government lands shouldn't be sold the way we have handled it over the years. Encroachment. You know the Achimota Golf Course? You know that land extends. It's been encroached so badly in that area. But the question I ask myself is that Ghanaians, do we follow laws? Or do we know there are laws to be followed in this country?
A lot of people know.
So why do we do it? Why do we do it? Because you see,
because the laws don't catch up with a lot of them.
Whatever the case is, we are spending more money to do what Amabo is trying to do.
Yeah.
And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And what then happens is that people build indiscriminately everywhere. They don't even care. So what the minister is doing, if he can sustain it and let the laws work, then I believe it's a good thing. However, if it's one of those things where you announce it, you start doing it for a while, and then all of a sudden somebody from above puts his hands in it and says, stop it, and they don't say anything to us, and then people now go back to take lands. I don't think that would work. Land guards is a situation that we need to look at. And the self-entitlement, and that's one thing I find about Ghanaians. We feel that whatever is government's, we're entitled to. And we have the right to take it because it's government's. And it is wrong. Because some of those lands have been secured for particular reasons. So I wish him well. And I hope he can continue for the rest of the NDC tenure. And whatever party comes back into power would also continue, because it has to stop. It really has to stop. Those lands that government doesn't need, they should give it back. We don't need this land, give it back to the owners, so that at least they too can benefit from it. But those that you need, catalog it, bring it in the newspapers, let everybody see. Lands Commission itself needs a whole rehabilitation, because sometimes some of these things start from the Lands Commission.
And those are the things, there was a committee that was set up. Those are the things that the committee found out, that a number of them did not meet the Lands Committee.
And then what happens? You see, and that's another thing that I see. Yabeti Committee, we put all the money inside, bring out fine recommendations, and go see baby. So we need to be able, and sometimes when I say this, people think, the thing I say won't happen. Where lands are concerned, it's a national issue.
True.
Political parties should work together collectively to make sure that some of these things stop. And not one party comes, does it, another party comes, doesn't do, one party comes, does it, another party comes, doesn't do, because it affects everybody. Do you know how many times in Accra here lands have been sold? And sometimes they don't have the right to sell the land because the land isn't theirs. Look at the Achimota saga. You know, look at the Achimota saga. The only place I feel maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, where this particular thing is minimized is in Ashanti, where Otumfuo is the one who controls every land in Kumasi. Exactly. He controls every land in Kumasi. And even when your lease is up, if you don't go and pay, he will seize the land plus your property on the land. He can do that. That's the only place I know. But
very often our challenge is the politicization.
Because
this political party comes and appointees feel that, well, I am entitled.
This is what I mean by self-entitlement. Okay, says, yeah, I'm in my bid, so whatever it is, I have the control. So they made me regional minister. So I have control to seize any land or to do anything with any land. Or I know XY here or XY is there. I remember, what do you call it, Ratri Park.
Yes.
And my father was regional minister, Ashanti region. City Hotel, what was called then, wanted to take Ratri Park as an extension of the hotel. And they went to see the old man. The old man said, over his dead body, said that particular area should be used for a park so that people in Kumasi can go there, their children can go there and do whatever they have to do. And he banned it. He fenced the place up. When Kodjo Bonsu came, he also took it up and did it, and that is why we've seen Ratri Park. Even Asante, just behind the palace, all that land is part of the palace land. The old man just cordoned the whole place off because people wanted to encroach. And maybe it's because we don't understand what the land laws are. And maybe it's because we are not interested in making sure that people understand the laws. Because it won't happen in any other country that has the kind of laws we have. And politicians sometimes are to blame, but the people too are sometimes to blame because people take government lands. I think one thing Amabua should do, as I said initially, he should make sure that those lands that government are not going to use, they hand it back to their owners. Because sometimes the lands are there for years, nothing has happened to the land, and the people feel that government don't want to. Okay, then they go and take it, and it creates problems. So they should catalog all those lands and make sure, and this is, I'll end by saying, this is what you should do. All the lands that he is working on, he said so far is 8,160. 160. There are more. Catalog all those lands. Catalog where these lands are. Name what those lands were supposed to be used for, and within the number of lands that he identifies, those that are going to go back should go back. Those that are going to be used, it should be stated what they are going to be used for, and then let's move on.
Julius.
Thank you very much. You see, when it comes to this state land issues, I take the issue a bit very seriously, because when we say state lands, what do we even mean? How do lands become state lands? These lands we call state lands would ordinarily be the generational wealth of some families.
That's true.
These lands belong to families, belongs to clans, belongs to schools. By making them state lands, what we essentially do is to ask these families from multiple generations ago to sacrifice their stake in those lands for our collective well-being. It is important, therefore, that when we do that, the state does not become a mechanism to siphon what essentially should have been the collective, patronage, generational wealth of those families to certain individuals by reason only of politics. What I'm trying to say is that myself and my brother, by reason of our involvement in politics, should not be able to take lands which would have been in the possession ordinarily of a family in, let's say, La, of a family in, for example, let's say Teshi or in Tamale or Ho. That is essentially what has been happening over the years. If we will speak plainly, if we will put all the flowery language aside, that is essentially what has been happening over the years. Because these issues began, I think there were agitations, if I remember correctly, somewhere in 2004. Subsequently, the cases involving Obechebi Lamte and others, Nokujeto Ablakwa. And there has been several scholarly works on it. What should be the definition of public purpose and public use and all of that? We go in, take lands that belongs to clans, families, and stools, and say we want to put it to particular public purposes. Those public purposes are not served. Then we see the land in people's wills. You remember the Achimota forest issue? But for the conflict within the family itself, family of Sir John, we wouldn't have even known that Sir John owned parts of Achimota forest and was bequeathing it, to his family. We wouldn't have known, but for their own fight over the will. And the only reason why Sir John is able to own Achimota forest is by his, political exposure. And that land, in reality, belongs to the Owu family. So as I was saying earlier, what we call state lands are essentially what would ordinarily have been generational wealth of certain families. And it goes to individuals by reason only of political exposure. I think that we have been unfair over the years to these families. And I must say, without mincing words, that the situation was exacerbated under the presidency of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And there is evidence, a plethora of them, to demonstrate that the New Patriotic Party, over the years, anytime they have been in government, have felt more entitled. And I think it's because of even their original ideation, where they say that they are a property-owning democracy, and for some reason, they are unable to define the limits of what properties they need to own, including properties of other families. When they come, then they want to take it over. You saw the selling of cantonment lands for 40,000 cedis to people by reason only of the fact that they are members of parliament. And so when you see what the Honorable Ama Kofi-Boah is doing, rationalization of the sale of public lands, such that there is a standardized pricing of lands, so that we know that lands in cantonment are supposed to cost this amount of dollars or this amount of cedis per acre or per plot. And anybody who would have access to any of them must pay at least 70% of the market value of that land, and the rest of the 30% will be spread over. That arrangement is the only way we can save public lands from going to private hands. The last time when this matter came up, there was a whole conversation around it. When, President Mahama made bold statements that we're going to reclaim these lands and all. You saw people arguing that by reason only of the fact that there have been contractual arrangements that allowed these public officers to take those lands, it is legitimately theirs. And I have always said that if we are going to govern this country and make sure that our wielding of public authority serves our collective interest, it is not only a matter of legality that is going to achieve that. Ethical standards of accountability and probity to the people of Ghana must be upheld. Is it fair that you, sitting there beautifully, will not be able to get rent of a 2-bedroom apartment for 40,000 cedis a year? You won't get a decent one. But someone who is a member of parliament, by reason only of their association with government, someone who is a general secretary of a political party, like in the case of Sir John, by reason only of the association with a governing party, is able to get a whole forest. And people's argument on those issues when they come up is only that, a legal process was followed. What do you mean a legal process was followed? What is even the state? The state is at every point in time its agents who exercise authority on its behalf, the Lands Commission, the president, who is in fiduciary role, they are the state. And so if you say that the state was involved in a transaction, and the people who are the state are the ones who themselves gives what would have ordinarily been other people's family lands to themselves, and you say that there has been legitimate transactions, how fair are you being to these families? How fair are you being to the people who have sacrificed intergenerational wealth for purposes of serving the state? How fair are we being to them? So I think that the Honorable Ama Kofi-Boah is on the right path. Right. These lands should be reclaimed. If people are interested in these lands, they should express legitimate interest with legitimate willingness to pay the value of those lands so that those lands will be given to them in the public interest. And I have always said that I have strong reservations about how our courts, and I say this with all respect and deference to their lordships, have approached the issue of what is public purpose and public use of lands, such that a certain broad definition has been given which could literally accommodate a situation where I can take my private real estate company and have some justification for why state lands should be given to me for my personal benefits, essentially. I think we must be able, as a people, to tighten those definitions so that public purpose becomes strictly what purpose the state has set out from the onset to take those lands for. If we are able to do that, we will prevent these things that have been happening. And nobody, not myself, not my brother, not anybody else who is higher up in the hierarchy of our political system, should be able to take public lands for cheap by reason of those exposure. And if we will be honest with ourselves as people who have been involved in the governance of this country, by reason only of our involvement, we have been more privileged than the average person. You will go to places, if for nothing at all, someone will recognize you and say, oh, it's you. And the person will help you skip a queue, even if it is watching you are buying. By reason only of your involvement, you have done nothing to achieve that. And that is without accounting for the other benefits that people get in public office. So it beats my imagination that we have a situation where people are willing to take public lands for cheap and there are justifications for it. You remember when President Mohammed made this announcement that there should be a halt on all transactions in relation to public lands. I was thinking that by reason of electoral defeat, which parts of which could be accounted for by the profligacy, the entitlement, the arrogance of power at the time, you saw the minority in parliament. And there are several headlines. In fact, even your institution had made publications on that, demanding that the president should suspend the order so that they could continue the acquisition of public lands. I mean, what sort of entitlement is this? And so I think that the Honorable Ama Kofi Boa is on the right path. What I would say is to add to Uncle Janto's point, that we shouldn't have a situation where these measures are announced and then they are left hanging subsequently. We should see it through and ensure that we serve justice to the families who for generations have sacrificed what would have been essentially wealth in their possession for our collective well-being. The capital we have today, we are able to put on public infrastructure by reason only of the fact that certain families several years ago decided that we are leaving these places for the state to operate. And so if those lands are now in the possession of the state, and some people unrelated to those lands in any way, by reason only of their association with politics, can be able to hijack those lands, how fair have we been to the several generations of those families who would not be able to access those lands? How fair have we been to them? So I think that it is time we put, the brake on this. It must end. On the issue of public lands, we must collectively agree that what has been happening over the years has been injustice, and that injustice must end.
Doc?
I would start by saying that if there was ever a time that the minority, protested from President Mahama to halt a certain policy directive for them to continue the state capturing, as my brother wanted to allude to, those in charge were the enablers of such acts.
Okay.
Because minority is powerless.
Right.
They don't control anything in the country, aside the business of parliament. They don't control anything. So if minority was bold enough to tell the president to halt a certain policy direction so they could continue to capture state lands, then those in power were the ones going to enable them capture those lands.
Okay.
So the root cause of the problem is not the minority. It's those in charge of the state property, vis-a-vis the government and the party of the day. That should be where the blame should be tilted towards.
Okay.
Mr. Jantoa made a very good suggestion, which a lot of Ghanaians have become victims to, which is the issue of land guards. And that is where I believe we should all add our voices to. People legitimately,
get lands, and by virtue of people's muscles and steroids they've taken to build their triceps and biceps, come to capture those lands, and people become so powerless that the state does not even come to their aid. So we need to go a step further to make sure that everyone is protected when it comes to land and land tenure system, and people's sweat should not go to waste in such manner. My brother also started well, except he couldn't help himself by bringing in political angles and cited the issue of Mr. Jokobeche Vilamte of blessed memory and Sir John's issue post his demise. But we could go back from the days of President Rawlings, and we know the cantonment lands, the Laboni lands. We know the owners of those lands. And as to whether those lands were procured by virtue of political privilege, or indeed they were procured in the right manner, it will only become a back and forth. But once again, the NDC always seeks to create the impression that Ghana started from President Akufo-Addo's tenure. At least in our fourth republic, there was President Rawlings, President Kufuor, President Mills, Mahama 1, Akufo-Addo, and then Mahama 2. We can go back and list. And Mr. Jantua will be an institution in that. He knows. If we are to push him, and Mr. Jantua will be candid enough to tell us, we can list, go back. You know, when the issues became topical, the NPP was forced to release a certain list of individuals who had acquired state lands. Is that where we want to tilt the argument? It will become a blame game. But if, as a country, as a government, we've seen a new path we want to take that will be in the benefit of the country, we can do that devoid of politics. Because the moment you start mentioning individuals associated with the NPP, then you are also telling the NPP to go back and mention names of individuals who have also acquired state lands. If anyone, by virtue of you being a politically exposed person and has certain privilege or power in society, is able to acquire a certain first-class land at a very cheaper rate, which value cannot even procure a land at the least areas in our country, I believe it's problematic. So if there is a system that's going to check that, to make sure that people pay real-time money for such lands to be procured, then it needs to be done. By the end of the day, it will still become the fight between the giraffe and the tortoise.
How?
Because clearly, no matter how much you price those lands, the ordinary Ghanaian cannot afford those lands. It will still be a cycle, except that this time around, the more privileged persons are just going to pay more. Right? In the end, it will end up...
ordinary Ghanaian.
Oh, the one living below or those in the poverty line. Those below the poverty line.
Do they amount to ordinary Ghanaian?
The states then gets more value.
That's what I'm saying. That
for our general welfare.
Beyond the fact that people are going to pay, in quote and unquote, such realistic prices, it will still end up in the same lands.
I don't disagree with you on that. But
hold on. Can you note your point so that when I'm done?
So yes, we need to tighten our belt. We need to rethink the situation, because in the end, if you put up those lands, I can't afford it. Lily can afford it, but I can't afford it. Right? If we could have a rethink of the system where, like Mr. Jantua wanted to put it, there were some efforts to claim the Rotary Club lands, and the father made sure that those lands are kept for future use. We need to rethink how we use these lands. What are some of the social interventions that we can have as a country? I was a kid, and from Burma Camp, when I was in school in JHS, we used to come to the Children's Park a lot. I passed by Children's Park, and I hardly see what really attracted us to such place when we were in JHS and primary. Let's have a whole new system rethinking. Can we even go back to the era of having parks and forests in this part of our country?
Parks and gardens.
Because we are in the era of climate change.
That's true.
And if we are going to even sell those lands for the purposes of monetary gains at the expense of the environment, then it's very, very dire.
It's raining in February.
It's raining in February. And we never experienced...
It was raining in January.
Yes. We didn't even experience the Harmattan from November up to January. Can we put A system rethink. At least, let's have some parks. Let's have some playgrounds. Let's have some eco environment spring up across the length and breadth of the country, instead of necessarily even selling them those lands for those monetary gains. I believe we can do that. But moving away from that, if we are talking about the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry, what is also of a particular importance to the Ghanaian today, that falls directly under the domain of the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry, is the issue of Galamsey. So if the minister is taking the lead to rationalize our lands and make sure that the country gets value for money, there's one thing that would be inimical to whatever progress he's making, and that's Galamsey. We all know the situation is worse. Accusations and counter-accusations by people within the same government of their involvement in Galamsey. And according to the Water Resource Commission, the state today of Galamsey is worse. And I speak so fondly of the issue as a medical person. When, because of Galamsey, you go to the water treatment plant in the central region, and it's shut down.
Changing the topic.
We are in the same domain.
In any case, we would only lead
right.
to a certain
We are in the same domain.
Water treatment
I'm saying
plants
that we are talking about lands and natural resources, and the minister's quest to rationalize our lands and protect our lands. And in protecting our lands, we need to protect our reserves and our lands in the Galamsey-prone areas.
It was true several years ago as well.
Exactly. If that's the tangent you want to go, I'll finish. Don't worry. You have your bite. Such that half of central region was without water because of the Galamsey issue. Half of central region was without water, and shortly after that, public health issue of cholera outbreak. Recently, even in secondary schools, we are having Galamsey right in the middle of secondary schools in Ashanti region. So the teacher is in the classroom telling the kids that education is the key, and the Shamfan is behind them telling them that Galamsey is rather the key. The state of our lands, if we are rationalizing what we have and preventing the more privileged persons to procure those lands at cheaper prices, please, let's take a second look at other side of our land. Galamsey, now, we went to the Ashanti region, during our internal primaries and the tour we had, and part of the country. You would weep, Lily. The state and the extent of land degradation in this country as a result of Galamsey. You would weep. We were hoping that for a political party that campaigned and told Ghanaians that, give us the nod, we would fix the menace in 1 week. We were hoping that at least after a year, we will see a dramatic change with
the 1 week, are you inferring that is what they said?
Oh, what did they say?
Did they say they will fix Galamsey in 1 week?
They said rather, it is a political will. And the MPP government had failed, according to them, because the president of the day did not have the political will to fight Galamsey. Because yes, the president was the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and it was a matter of giving command. The armed forces will move to those forests and bring Galamsey to a halt. And that if NDC comes to power, they could end Galamsey in 1 week. If I'm misquoting anyone, I stand to be corrected. Here we are. After 1 year, we've graduated the Blue Army, the Yellow Submarine. I don't know where else we are going. And the situation is dire. Galamsey is killing Ghanaians. And the report of birth deformities and abnormalities we are experiencing these days is unprecedented. During the May Day celebration, the Trades Union Congress told the president in the face, just after about 4 months in power, that within 4 months, Galamsey issue has become worse. The Catholic Bishop Conference, war-meaning Ghanaians, are all singing the same song, that Galamsey has become worse. And the person who is leading the charge at the ministry rightly called for the imposition of state of emergency on Galamsey and our lands when the person was in opposition. Today, the person is in power, and by God's grace, he is the head of our lands and natural resources, for Christ's sake. Where is the commitment? the presidential will, the NDC spoke so highly of. What is the presidential will? Let's fight to make sure that, yes, we are getting value for money from state lands. At the same time, let's use such alacrity and such effort, the aggression with which we campaigned and ran down a political party and a government at the time, and promised heaven and earth, to the extent that individuals who are cabinet ministers today told us in the face that should the president fail, they were going to campaign and demonstrate against him. It's been over a year in power, and the state of lands, if we are talking about Galamsey and land degradation, is worse. What is the land ministry doing about it? If voices of conscience are quiet today, and today we move to studios and we don't see them parading the sources of water from our rivers on their screens, telling us and labeling those waters when MPP was in power, telling us this is the state of our water bodies, labeling them in bottles, fetching them to their studios. Today, where are the voices? Or where are the voices of conscience? Those that mounted a fierce campaign against Galamsey under the MPP. Today, the situation is worse. So at least, if nothing at all, we're expecting the same measure.
Okay.
So let's appeal to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister.
Why?
Yes, lands at cantonments are important, but there's no Galamsey happening at cantonment. Lands at Laboni, Achimota are important. There's no Galamsey happening at Achimota. At least, you can choose not to sell them, and no one will come and force you to sell them. But move to Ashanti region, move to Eastern region, move to Central region. Half of a whole region was cut of water supply, and cholera became the order of the day in Central region. People are dying. Before you sell the land at Laboni, people will be dead in Ashanti region. Before you sell part of Achimota forest, those without water in Central region will be dying of cholera, and the life lost can never be regained. So we beg you, pay your own worst and pay your own aggression in opposition. Please, kindly extend same energy to the fight against Galamsey. Now that you have the political will and the state machinery is with you, and you have all the powers to implement the things you campaigned on when you're in opposition.
Okay. Julius, I see that you had a few battles.
I mean, the first point I want to correct is the claim that if the lands are even priced at their appropriate prices, I'll respond to issues of Galamsey as well anyway. If the lands are priced at their appropriate prices, I mean, we end up back in the same circle. That is not necessarily true. Because the point I've been making the whole time is that some families, some clans, some stools have given up what would ordinarily be wealth in their hands.
The point was not in reference to what you said.
That's fine. That's fine. Right? When you ask that, I allow you to speak. I did. So can I? Some families, some clans, some stools have essentially given out what would have been wealth in their hands for the collective welfare of the state. And so if the state decides at any point in time to let go of those lands, it either goes back to those families or its real value serves the state. It shouldn't be the case that we create a situation where some people, by reason of their political exposure, and for me, I don't mind mentioning names, because this whole thing about if you mention names, then it sends us into a circle of naming people and all of those things. I don't mind whose name you mention and which political party they belong to. The reality of the matter remains that when people are allowed to do what Sir John did, when people are allowed as members of parliament to buy cantonment lands for 40,000 cedis, there is an injustice that goes right to those families who let go of those lands. So if we are saying that if we create a situation where the lands are even sold for their value, it does not serve the state's purpose, that is not true. Because if the land is supposed to cost $2 million and you sell it for somebody for 40,000 Ghana cedis, first, what it does is that you deprive the original owners of the land. That's the first thing. The state's purpose that you said you are going to serve for all of us to benefit from it, you have not served it. And the return, which would have gone to state coffers to serve our collective well-being, would have not happened. But if you sell it at its real market value, it will serve all of us, our collective well-being. You are closer to serving the purpose which you told the original owners that you will serve. than if it goes to MPs for 40,000 cedis. That is the point I'm making. That point must be said clear. Then this whole issue of Galamsey, the last time I was here, I sought to make the point that when you today make reference to the closure of water treatment plants as a symptom or a signal of Galamsey worsening, that would be disingenuous. Because we have had that same thing happening in the past. It is a job of government to fix problems. And we are fixing the problems. That is why today we have reclaimed 800 hectares of land, which was destroyed under the Eswal administration. We are fixing the problem. We are engaging in massive afforestation, planting trees on lands that have been destroyed by them. In fact, there have been several media reportages that the water is now clearer than it was under their regime. That is why you don't see GTV and all other media platforms going to fetch the water and put it on the table. The reason they are not putting it on the table is because the water is now clear. That thing is clear. What should they put on the table? It was not clear under your regime. That is why they were putting it on the table for all of us to see. The water is clear now. That is why they are not putting it there. Now, if you go and you are pointing to media reportage today of a water treatment plant being shut down by reason of their inability to process water, the question it begs, you said you are a medical doctor. When you destroy a water body, what period does it take for that water body to regain its original purity for purposes of water treatment plants to be able to supply water from them? If we can analyze these things, we can come to a firm conclusion that the closure of water treatment plants does not happen overnight. It happens due to accumulation of distractions, most of which is superintended over. The last time I sought to point this out, and then there was a news card that said that I said that the water closures that are happening now are caused by the MPP, and there was an uproar. But the reality remains that if we are going to deal with the issues as they are, how waters become destroyed, what period of distraction has to happen for the water treatment plants to now be at the receiving end of it, you cannot claim that it is a function of anything that happened within the last year. And so when you point to these issues, and then you try to avoid the fact that there was massive distraction under your regime, because you want to simply point to the fact that you are in charge, fix it. Yes, we are in charge and we are fixing it. That is why lands are being reclaimed. That is why the water is purer now. That is why you are not seeing the media houses putting the water bottles in front of them again. We are fixing it. But you can't run away from the fact that when you cause distraction over the period, it takes some time for the distraction to now be felt at the output ends. That is why what we are seeing today, because in any case, are we going to sit here now and dishonestly and without any respect to our audience claim that closure of water treatment plants is something that began today? I am not saying that it should continue. We are fixing it. But if we are going to throw out those claims as a way of blaming this regime, we must be willing to be honest enough with the fact that there has been consistent distraction over the period that accounts for what we are seeing now. Because for every distraction that you have engaged in, the outcome takes time to show up. And that is what we are seeing. And so when we bring these issues up to account for the period of distraction that has led us to this point, the things he's pointing at and all of this, it is not the case that we are saying we are shaking responsibility. That is why I am demonstrating to you things we have done over this period, including the massive reclamations that we are doing, including the purity levels of the water that every media outlet is attesting to. So we should take care of these issues and we deal with them. Then the issue of, there are, Galamsey activities going on in schools, all of these things that they have been claiming. Was it not during the MPP regime that somebody was in their house and the house collapsed on them because someone was digging under the house for Galamsey? Was it not during your regime that these things were happening? I mean, you've not been here for a while. Have you lost track of time or something? Is it the case that we have lost track of time by reason of not commenting on the issues for a while? Oh, it was under you that we were seeing these things happening. And so I don't see why we are bringing that matter up on a discussion that has to do with land. And you see, I've always said that I have always said that if you cannot speak to the issue, you obfuscate, you introduce matters that are not, in tandem with it. We were talking about, should I remind us of what we were talking about? We were talking about state land capture. And we were talking about the fact that lands belonging to Ministry of Foreign Affairs were being sold. We were talking about the fact that lands in Tamale, Upper West, you remember Chinia? Yes. And all of those people, members of parliament under your regime, that is what we're talking about. That they were stealing state lands under your watch, that you were giving it to them for cheap. That is what we're talking about. But simply because you are unable to speak to why you allowed those things to happen. You have shifted to Galamsey. And it is not a case that we in government are unwilling to talk about Galamsey.
Okay.
We are willing to talk about it.
Okay.
But if we come here and the topic is about state capture, land capture, and the fact that it is your people who are, partook in this, sat in parliament and even justified. Did you hear what he was saying about the fact that if minority sits in parliament and is able to say that President Mohammed should suspend his order, then it is our fault. You sold lands for cheap. You were unable to complete some of the transactions and you left office. Okay. We came to power and we said halt those transactions. Right. Then you stand in parliament and say that our directive that we should hold those transactions should be suspended. And some way, somehow, the comments of your people that they want to insist on stealing lands that belong to the people of Ghana, the heritage of families and clans in this country. It is the fault of President Mohammed that your people are sitting in parliament and making those statements. You are able to make that statement boldly, that it is our fault that they make that statement. If it were the case, if it were the case that after making those statements, President Mohammed has allowed them to continue taking the land, then you can blame me. But we did not succumb to it. Okay. So I'm shocked that you are able to make those statements.
Are we going for a break? Or?
No, make your point so that when I come back, then I'll take a whole new topic.
This kind of argument, argy-bargy on Galamsey, back and forth.
I mean,
and blaming
somebody and all of that.
And another party, for me, it doesn't work. Isn't Galamsey affecting all of us?
All of us.
It's affecting all of us. Water is not being got. All sorts of things are happening because of Galamsey. It needs a collective attitude by everybody. It's a national issue where we should all come together and see how we do what? We solve it. And let's stop this argy-bargy and you did this, I didn't do this. The problem is there. You're all suffering. Now, on the land issue, the crux of the matter is based on those who manage the land.
Right.
Who are they? Land Commission. What does the law say? The Lands Commission, established under Article 258 of the 1992 Constitution, manages state lands in Ghana. What are their key aspects? Acquisition. State lands are acquired through compulsory acquisition or vesting of stool lands. Vesting of stool lands. They are part and parcel of state lands. Management. The Lands Commission oversees administration, leasing, and development of state lands. Types. Includes public lands, stool skin lands vested in the state, and lands acquired for public purposes.
Right.
So when people come up, those who have the power to do it, do they not go to Lands Commission?
They do.
Do they force Land Commission that give me this land?
No.
So that is where the problem is. The crux of it is with Lands Commission. And that is where we should look at to see that we sanitize all the challenges that are there. Because all lands in Ghana are registered under Land Commission.
Sure.
The boss who is there has responsibility. And we should get to a point in this country where when a politician now comes and claims he wants a certain government land, the boss at Lands Commission should be able to tell him, unfortunately, we can't sell that land to you. Should be able to do it. You see, I don't understand how the people who vote for somebody who comes to knock on my door and says, if you vote for me, I can do fantastic for you. Then you vote for that person. The person now gets into power, then they come and sit on your head.
They want to take your ancestral land.
They want to take everything of yours. They want to show that, you are nobody. We have to get to a point where people come into power to serve. That is the reason for power. To serve.
Unfortunately, the people understand this.
Exactly. And it's up to the politician to make sure that the people, those they put in power, understand what it means to serve. And the person who allocates positions for these people should be able to say, you, Lily, we put you in the gender ministry. You don't seem to understand what it means by service. Out. Bring someone new.
Okay.
Not until some of these things happen, we are going to just chase our tails.
Okay.
Look at Parliament. Most people in Ghana go to Parliament because they want posts.
And for them, it's job security.
What job security?
Job security. When my government leaves office, then at least I have a job to do.
Lily, what job security? 4 years. 4 years job security.
For them?
No. No. That mindset should change.
For a lot of them.
That
a lot of them who have
mindset
gone into
should
parliament.
change.
Especially for people who in opposition who go into parliament. They go into parliament thinking that once my government is out, I will have a job for 4 years and then I can be able to make an inroad. When my government come in, I can get a job. A better job.
That inroad that you are making, are you making the inroad for country? Are you making the inroad for self?
They are making inroads for self.
Yeah, but that is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And this is where any president should have the guts to say, we put you in power, it looks as if you're interested in yourself, out, prosecute them. We need to be able to take certain stands, because where the country is heading for, it doesn't help. Galamsey, bobo, insure, bobo, educational, bobo.
The lands too?
Why?
Health.
It has to stop somewhere.
Right.
Like Mr. Jantua said, the crust of the matter still remains those in authority.
Sure.
So if minority tells the president to halt a policy direction, the minority cannot go and claim any land until those in power, those in authority, give them those lands.
But Doc, you people have been in authority too before.
Mr. Jantua,
so let's generalize
it. Please go ahead.
It is those in power who would give the minority those lands. So you are telling me that the people are willing to give?
No, nobody said
except that a minority should not demand it. If you believe your people will not give, whatever they demand should be of no consequence to you.
It's of consequence when you sold the land in the past and wanted to.
We are talking about lands and natural resource ministry. I will speak of Galamsey on any day.
Okay.
And Mr. Jantua, it's so refreshing to know that today the issue is a collective issue. When we were seated in this same studio, we never had those arguments. Today, the people who promised us that it takes political will, am I in power?
It does take political.
Do I have political will?
No, you don't.
When they were promising 1 week, 2 weeks, that when they come, why didn't they solve it when they're in opposition?
Because
they didn't have the power. Exactly.
Power.
They told us it was an issue of political will.
You're welcome back to the show. This is still GH today here on GHOne TV. Now, every time we eat, food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Brush your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal Toothpaste. Pepsodent Charcoal is made of fine blend of fluoride with a unique combination of natural charcoal, lemon, mint, and zinc to whiten your teeth, strengthen them, and remove bad odor from your mouth. Charcoal white gently polish away tooth stains and naturally restores your bright smile like mine. For a herbal lover, you need to try the Pepsodent Herbal Toothpaste, which is infused with a unique blend of green tea and herbal extract, formulated to repair and protect your gums while giving you an all-round cooling sensation. Pepsodent Herbal releases, repairs, and protects your gum tissue. Not just that, it also gives you a stronger tooth. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night. Pepsodent has been educating Ghanaians on how to brush their teeth for the past 25 years. Pepsodent is recommended by the Ghana Dental Association. Pepsodent gives you the opportunity to talk to a dentist for free by simply calling the toll-free number 0800-161-000, 0800-161-000 to talk to a dentist for free today. You can get Pepsodent at any shop near you. You can call our customer care line on 0800 2000 30. 0800-200030. Pepsodent says every smile matters. Now, on Friday, we're bringing you Fugu Night at the Plus 233 Bar and Jazz Bar and Grill. Rock your finest Fugu or anything with a touch of Fugu. Pull up with your crew and enjoy live band music, drinks, and premium nightlife vibes. This is where tradition meets the turn-up people. Fugu Night out Friday, 20th February, 7 p.m. sharp till you drop. Don't dull, just be there. Call for reservations on 0233 233 233 0233 233 233. Fugu Night out at Plus 233 Jazz Bar and Grill. It's a premium nightlife outing powered by Star 103.5 FM. Simply the best. We're still celebrating Valentine. I know that it was 14th of February, but we're still in the month of love. And so at Gold Board, we're giving you beautiful discounts so you can gift your significant others that beautiful gold jewelry. Valentine is not just about a couple. Gold Board jewelry is celebrating family, love, and friendship. Show appreciation to your parents, siblings, or even best friends with timeless gold pieces. Love comes in many forms, and Gold Board has gold for all of them. And so you can celebrate family, bosses, your friendship this week with Gold Board jewelry. Visit our website, www.jewelry.goldboard.gov.gh, www.jewelry.goldboard.gov.gh, or visit any of our social media handles, Gold Board Jewelry, or you can call us on 0551 52 2233, 0551 522233 for any inquiry that you have. My guests are still here, Anthony Julius, Dr. Ezekiel, and Mr. Kwame Jantwa as well. We're talking about land issues, but now let's talk about cocoa. Since the cocoa... Don't worry, I'll come to you. Cocoa is on our land, and there have been a lot of issues relating to cocoa in the past couple of days. The Ghana Cocoa Board has come out with a statement on salary cuts as well. People, especially those in the minority, are calling for the head of Dr. Randy Abbey. Doc, let me start.
Yes, so to conclude on the Galamsey issue, I will speak of Galamsey any day, any time. In fact, I will be a proponent.
So whenever you have
I will be a proponent of 24-hour economy when it comes to Galamsey issues. In fact, I'll talk about it morning shift, afternoon shift, and evening shift, even though we don't have such in the country. Okay. The reclamation of our water bodies do not take 1 year. In fact, the People's Forum made a documentary in the central region, just latter part of last year. And if there was any political will to fight Galamsey, as at the last quarter of last year, we should have seen significant progress in the issue of the water bodies that were muddied in the central region, for which region 11 districts were out of water, and cholera became order of the day. In fact, during our primaries, we went to Ashanti region. In the Ekrofum constituency, there's a dam there. Just last month, right, We were in a Crofom constituency. There was a dam there. Are we saying that right from 7 January 2025 to January 2026, we need 10 years for those water bodies to be cleared? Is that what you are saying? And is there any media house reporting of the good state of our water bodies today? Is there any media house? I dare you to say one. Go to the social media handles and the online platforms of Joy FM. Erastus Asaredonko, the task Galamsey, NDC appointees, enabling Galamsey. Go to the Joy online platform, online and social media platforms, and look at the state of our lands today. And we are saying we are making progress.
You said something earlier. You said you are daring...
Any media house that's constantly reporting.
Please, we do.
That our water bodies are better. Are better today.
Well, whenever there's an item, whenever we go out there, we
our
see
water bodies are better today.
There's a semblance of it getting better.
It's getting better, or they are better.
Not better, getting better.
There's no media house which has reported that our water bodies are better today. And if we are told that there's no one reporting on land degradation and water pollution as a result as a result of the unprecedented level of Galamsey today, go to the Joy News channel on social media, specifically Facebook, and you weep for the state. And it won't take 1 year for the water bodies to clear. So if we have communities which are cut off water today, it is not because someone did Galamsey in 2018. So the water body is now crawling like a tortoise to clear in 2026. It speaks to the state of the issues today. So when we are talking about land issues, yes, let's rationalize our lands. Let's get value for money. But I still maintain that Galamsey will kill us before the selling of the land at that water forest kills us.
Okay, now let's talk about the issues of cocoa.
It's a sad situation.
I had a point of correction.
I'll come to you. When I come, then you make your point of correction.
It's a very sad situation. What the NDC has done to cocoa farmers. And for those of us from cocoa growing areas, in my village, people wake up early morning, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and they bath with the morning dew, collected on leaves, to go and farm. Only for them to be promised that the Akufo-Addo administration is wicked. They were supposed to pay you some 6,000 to 7,000 Ghana cedi per bag. And because of the wickedness of the MPP and the Akufo-Addo administration, they are giving you 3,100 cedis. After taking the price of cocoa from 475 Ghana cedi per bag to 3,100 cedis. So give us power. We in the NDC, give us power. When we get the power, we are going to do between 6,000 to 7,000 cedis for you per bag. On top of it, we are going to give you and your dependent free healthcare. Aside that, we are going to give your wards free education. So vote for us. Only for the cocoa farmers to hear the good news and the gospel according to the NDC on cocoa issues. This complete U-turn hurts more than any other thing you can think of.
Okay.
That the government that promised 7,000 cedi per bag today, all of a sudden has forgotten its promise to the cocoa farmer. And I know a lot of the cocoa farmers from Sehui, because I went there in 2024.
Did they say 7,000 or 70%?
They said 6,000 to 7,000 explicitly from the finance
on the prevailing world market price.
They said that, oh, please, they promised them, we will give you this.
But that was at the time. The
oh, please. So are you saying that when they were speaking to the farmers, they didn't know tomorrow would change? Really?
Well,
are you the PRO?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's here. He can speak to
or you're on the government water platform, Lily.
Please. I don't even know about that.
And if it changes, what please.
Maybe if there's a platform, you need to let me know. I don't know about it.
There was an explicit promise to the cocoa farmer that we will give you the 6,000 to 7,000 per bag when you vote for us. And as side attraction, as an appetizer, and sweet after meals, we will give your children free education. Explicitly said. We will give you and your dependent free health care. When they were making those promises, they didn't think of tomorrow. That's what you are saying. Lily, go to my village. The farmers who had their cocoa stored because the government was so insensitive to even pay them the peanuts they gave them. And they had to go and borrow money from individuals and institutions at the prevailing price then. Today, with the new price, they can't even make the principal to even go and offset their debt. That is the star state of the cocoa farmer today. We do politics with everything. And today we are giving reasons. MPP left debt. When MPP took over in 2017, there was $4.1 billion plus debt left at Cocoa Board. In fact, there's an interview between then CEO and Obi on Asempa Ekosisen, and you can look for it on YouTube. The cocoa season 2016-2017, which started from October, the syndicated loan the NDC took then, $1.2 billion. By the time the MPP came on 7 January 2017, all the $1.2 billion had gone. The MPP was faced with such reality. But the MPP found a way to still get money and pay cocoa farmers. During COVID, there was an overload of cocoa beans on the world market. It dropped the price. But the MPP made sure that as a father, we cushion our farmers. There was no price cut for cocoa farmers, despite dwindling cocoa price on the world market. And that is what a father has to do. But today, all sorts of algorithms, all sorts of excuses. The MPP left debt, and the world market price has reduced. If MPP left a debt, and you were in distress, how could Cocoa Board promise to sponsor our local league if you knew there was a mess? How did Cocoa Board get the confidence to promise Ghanaians that we would take people to go and watch the World Cup if you knew there was a mess? Cocoa Board made $1.8 billion first 4 months of last year due to the good measures the MPP put in place. So when they inherited the system, they were able to buy cocoa seamlessly and made a profit. It's in the budget statement. Yeah. And if you go to the Ghana International Bank in UK, MPP left Cocoa Board $500 million. So right from the debt. Okay. You inherit assets and liability. The asset you inherited is what made you make that profit of $1.8 billion. The asset you inherited is the $500 million in the Ghana International Bank in UK. So which debt? When we were making the promise to sponsor our league, we were in a mess and you were still making the promise. We were in the mess and you were still promising to take people to go and watch the World Cup. And today, with only 74 cocoa districts we have in Ghana, Cocoa Board has procured 110 luxurious pickups. That's an institution that's debt-stricken. 110 luxurious pickups. Aside that, a 10 luxurious V8. Understand the fridge in those V8 can actually become a coaster.
Doc, where's your evidence?
Oh, the Cocoa Board cars.
And you want to engage this mundane statement?
The Cocoa Board cars. Oh, Sir Jantua.
Where's your evidence?
Mr. Jantua.
No, I just want to know where
oh,
your
please.
evidence is.
I mean, don't engage this mundane.
So, in the distress of Cocoa Board, they were able to import 110 luxurious pickups. They were able to import 10 luxurious V8 with a fridge that can even serve as a coaster. But when it came to the farmers, they are telling them what? We can't pay you the 7,000 we promised you. We can't give you the free healthcare we promised you. We can't give you the free education for your wards we promised you. And even with what we came to meet, the 3,100, oh, let's do some optics, NDC and the optics. Let's do some optics and raise it to 3,600. And the moment it was announced, there was a complete freeze. Not even a peswa was paid to the farmer for their wards, for their monies, for their sweat to be reduced by 10 million old Ghana cedi per bag.
Okay, let me hear from you.
It's a travesty of justice to the cocoa farmer.
Okay, Julius, then I can land with Mr. Judge.
Lily, you see, when we sit on platforms like this, gross dishonesty should be out of the conversation. My brother was making a certain claim that during COVID, cocoa price crashed on the world market, and President Akufo-Addo did a certain magic to pay farmers. I would want to cede a minute of my time to my brother, if he is willing, to tell us what the price of cocoa per ton was in 2017, in 2018, then 2019 when COVID came, and 2020. I mean, with that, we can be able to tell if indeed the price of cocoa crashed in the world market during COVID. What was the price, Ezekiel, in 2017 and 2018?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I'm willing to cede my time so that you demonstrate the price.
Once again,
what was the price?
If you want to give me your time, I can take your time.
What was the price?
Once again, Lily, what the MPP did, despite all the distress the MPP came to meet at Cocoa Board.
Lily, he's not answering the question.
What
Let
the
me
MPP
proceed. I have my time, but he's not. I'll answer.
I don't have enough time. I get a lot of time.
I said I ceded a minute. You are not answering the question. And I wanted our audience to see something, so I'll proceed. Now let me proceed. You realize he can't. The reason is because you know why? The world market price per ton of cocoa in 2017 was $2,030 per ton in 2017. In 2018, it was $2,290 per ton. You can subject me to straight proof and verify it. Then in 2019, when there was COVID, it increased to $2,340 per ton. In 2020, it was $2,370 per ton. Where's the crash? Where is the crash? Oh, my brother, when was COVID? COVID was between 2019 to 2020. I was in China in that year, so I know very well. Where was the crash? So you sit on TV and dishonesty is what you are spewing. There was no crash in 2019 and 2020 on world market price of cocoa, which led you to do any magic. You are lying. You are lying.
That's why
you are lying. That is dishonesty. Let me deal with that.
Okay.
Now, that is dishonesty. You are lying. That should be on record.
Address the farmers.
Then there is a fundamental issue. I mean, when these issues come up and you try to get Ghanaians to appreciate the background of the issues, why we are in this issue, then the MPP says that you are trying to blame them for your mess. What mess? There are two tools that are available to the state, Cocoa Board, when it comes to the trading of cocoa in Ghana. Spot pricing and forward sales. The reason why we have Cocoa Board with its strategic management is for purposes of making analysis, extrapolations, and projections, which would make them determine which of those tools they should deploy in order to bring the highest revenue as possible to the Ghanaian people from the sale of cocoa. What did the MPP do in 2022-2023 crop year and in 2023-2024 crop year that crippled the cocoa sector? They entered into a forward sale agreement in 2022-2023 to trade Ghana's cocoa at $3,600 per ton, which locked in our cocoa beans to be sold at that price, regardless of how high cocoa prices go on the world market. So this is what happens. As of January, the MPP entered into an agreement that they are expecting cocoa. Please, Ezekiel, when you were speaking, I don't have so you just allow me to go on. They entered into an agreement. So this is what it's as simple as trading any commodity. Let's even take it in general for purposes of understanding. That you agree in January that as of October, whatever you are going to yield, you will sell it at $3,600 per ton. Such that even if in October the price goes up to $10,000, you are still locked at selling it at $3,600. That is what the MPP did to the cocoa sector. So when the price rose at the spot market price of about $9,600 to $10,000 per ton, the MPP was still selling Ghana's cocoa at $3,600 per ton. Calculate the difference. We were making a loss of about $7,600 to $8,000 during that period. It is for that reason why they were paying the cocoa farmer $3,500 at that time. And we were telling the cocoa farmers at that time, whatever the Honorable Kesel Atoforsen said about cocoa prices and what the cocoa farmers must be getting at that time is correct then and it is correct today. The reason is because if the world market price, the spot price was around $10,000, and because you entered into a dubious forward sale agreement that locked the price at 3,600, and the farmer could have been selling their beans at that time at 10,000, and for that reason you are giving them 3,500, we are telling the farmer that they could have been getting 7,000 or 6,000 cedis at that time.
Okay.
That statement is correct. And so when you lock in our people and cause the farmer to suffer in that proportion, you don't come out and complain when we are saying that you destroy the sector. The second thing they did, worse off, is that in the 2023-2024 crop year, they even did something worse. They went from the 3,600 per ton to 3,200 per ton to 2,600 per ton. Also on forward sale and locked in the country. At that time, spot pricing increased to the tune of $12,000 per ton. Calculate the difference. We were making a loss around $7,600 to $8,000 per ton on each of them. So if we are telling the Ghanaian people at that time that it is because of these dubious arrangements that they are not getting the 6,000 cedis per bag, which they would have been gotten at the FOB price, it is correct. Now, when you turn around within that same period, they did not only stop at the dubious forward sales contracts. They proceeded, they were supposed to supply about 800,000 tons of cocoa beans at that time. They were able to supply only 530,000 plus. Okay. The reason is because the farmers that they think are ignorant knew that the world market price, the spot price at that time was around $10,000 to $12,000. And they were locked in at $2,600. Okay. And so there was no encouragement on the side of the farmers to supply the beans. Okay. Because if, it's important that I land this. That's what I'm saying. No, let me hear from Mr. Janto. Please, it's important that I land this point. I watched the time you gave. Be fair. It's important that I land this point so that people understand. Now,
Ezekiel, please allow him.
When you do this, the farmers were aware that this was what was happening. So you will realize that the lowest production we have ever had in the cocoa sector was recorded in that year, where they had a little over 530,000 tons because the supply was not coming. The effect is that they locked us in an arrangement to supply over 800,000 tons. There's a carry forward over 300,000 tons that we must be supplying. What happened to us is that we are now supplying that over 300,000 tons at the prevailing rate, but we are locked in to sell it to somebody at the 2,600 which they arrange. So we go and now buy the cocoa at $7,000 per ton. But because they have locked us into a contract to sell it at a forward sale agreement of 2,600, we are making a loss. That is what the MPP did to the Ghanaian people. And that is aside the debts they left in the cocoa sector. In fact, you know that the DDEP affected even the cocoa board. They restructured a debt of 10 billion Ghana cedis at cocoa board, forwarded to 2025, that we have to be paying. How do you leave all these things behind, fail to account for all of them and their consequences on the sector, then turn around and say that it is the fault of Randy Abbey? Let me land my point. I mean, there's so much to say, but let me land my point. I want to land my point by commending Dr. Randy Abbey and Cocoa Board, the senior management, the board, all of them, for identifying with the plight of the Ghanaian people. The plight of the cocoa farmer today. It is a situation where the price of cocoa has fallen internationally. It is not the doing of anybody. When you send something to sell in the market and this is the prevailing price, you sell it. But they have now taken it upon themselves to take salary cuts to demonstrate that they lead with passion. They lead with accommodating the interests of the people they serve. When we were in the COVID that he was blaming, COVID that he was blaming moments ago. I'm landing. When we were in the same COVID period that he was blaming moments ago, they were taking allowances. When the people who were at the front of the COVID fight were not being paid. Remember, Honorable Kodjo at the Ministry of Information. It is not the case under the National Democratic Congress government. We are identifying with the plight of the people today. So please, when you destroy a sector and someone is trying to put that sector back in order and restructure it, you don't have the moral right to be saying the things you are saying.
Mr. Janto, let me hear from you. No. Ezekiel, I gave you a lot of time.
You're not being fair.
No, you cannot say I was not being fair.
For 15 minutes.
Mr. Janto, Julius and Ezekiel, thank you. Let Mr. Janto speak.
Uncle Janto.
I don't have enough time.
Please. I've been quite listening to all of them.
Yes, so please allow Mr. Janto to speak.
The point of correction I wanted to make was Ezekiel was trying to infer when I said that we need a collective effort where Galamsey is concerned. I've been saying it for years, even when President Akufo-Addo was in power.
Okay. Sorry,
I kept saying that it needs a collective, what do you call it?
Approach.
Now, where Cocoa Board is concerned, Cocoa Board was established in 1947 for particular reasons by the British colonial masters. Economic control, quality control, price stabilization, taxation, and all was in benefit to their chocolate factories abroad. The question I then ask is that, do we still practice what the old colonial masters put in place? Economic control, quality control, price stabilization, and taxation? To some degree, we might do. But it is quite sad that a cocoa farmer cannot afford to say, today I'm going to buy a car and be able to buy it.
2,500. Why would they buy a car?
It's quite sad.
Gentlemen.
Quite sad that the cocoa farmer can't even buy a motorcycle if they want to. It is sad. A commodity that has looked after this country for over 60 years shouldn't be in this state. Shouldn't be in this state. And if you're going to apportion blame, we apportion blame to all governments in this Fourth Republic. Yes. Look, the loan that they go and take, what is it called? Syndicated loan was comfortable for everybody. Syndicated loan. Syndicated loan. And nobody thought of what to do to add value to our cocoa. Right now, for me, the most important instrument in cocoa is the cocoa farmer. That's the one we should look after. Right. I think government should break down Cocoa Board line by line, and restructure it to the modern day. Number two, we should have a sinking fund for cocoa farmers so that when prices drop, that sinking fund is used to what? Support the cocoa farmer. Yeah. We should have it. Because, look, the only good thing about cocoa that we should be happy about is that the tree lasts for years and they bear fruit every year. Yeah. Just like the rubber tree. It lasts for years and it bears fruit. The unfortunate thing is that sometimes it gets diseased. But when it is flourishing, it flourishes for years. So based on that, it gives an added value. We should be able to look at, guys, when you were talking now, right? It should be able to look after this country going forward. And I like the idea that at this particular moment, the president is looking at adding value to cocoa. Some of us have been talking about it for years. For years. Look, a private sector company today in Ghana, and I'm sure you know of them, they take the sap of the cocoa bean, that white bit, and turn it into juice. Yeah. And they've linked in with a Swiss company. And the Swiss company is buying all their production. Added value. Once upon a time, the cocoa husk, that when you dry and the husk comes out, I was exporting it to the UK. You know what they use it for? They use it for flowers. They cover the bottoms of flowers so the heat doesn't come out of the soil. From the husk. They even use that. Look, there's so many things that cocoa bean can be used for. And I hope this is the beginning of trying to get the cocoa industry in the right form. For once, if we're going to sell beans to local producers, then we should make sure that there are small local factories that convert the cocoa bean into various products. The same time I was doing cocoa husk, I was doing cocoa coverture. And where was I getting cocoa coverture from? CPC in Tema. And it makes more money than selling the bean. More money than selling the bean. Okay. Chocolate makes how much? Chocolate makes nearly $100 billion around the world. Why are we getting only $3 million? Why? When we are what? We are second largest producer of cocoa. And the difference with Ghana's cocoa to all other cocoa is that our cocoa is rich. So you find that the chocolate manufacturers who don't actually do chocolate with cocoa, they do milk chocolate, they always have to add Ghana's cocoa to their chocolate. Right. and we are sitting here twiddling our toes and quarreling. No, things have to change, and I think it will start from restructuring of cocoa board.
Okay.
It will start by having a sinking fund for farmers. It will start by making the farmer important in the production of cocoa.
Okay, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I'm out of time.
Give me 1 minute.
If I give you time, it means I have to give everybody
10 seconds.
No. Unfortunately, my time is up.
After all the explanation,
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That's Dr.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel Ejekumobi. He's a member of the NPP Communications team. That's Anthony Julius. He's a member of Government Communication. And that's Kwame Janto Esuka. He's a private legal practitioner and a leading member of the Convention People's Party. Please allow me to do my LPM. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for coming. Today we're excited to introduce you to the future of transportation right here in Ghana. Join me as we explore EV Africa Ghana, a trailblazer in the electric vehicle industry with a commitment to sustainable mobility, cutting-edge technology, and eco-friendly solutions. EV Africa Ghana is not just transforming how we drive, but also how we think about our environment. Let's dive into the innovative lineup of electric vehicles and discover how they are paving the way for a cleaner, greener Ghana. Call EV Africa today, 0256063408 or simply info@evafrica.com. Imagine walking into a home where nobody ever pauses what they're doing online. The girls are streaming the latest Netflix series. The special playlist is rolling. Daddy is on his usual Teams video calls. Uploads are uploading. Downloads are downloading. And not a single person says, my data is finished. That's the power MTN Fiber gives you. Unlimited access for endless streaming, endless connection, endless everything for your various homes. Now you get to enjoy a special range of unlimited fiber internet packages, whether you're a new or an existing customer. Just log into the MTN app now, add my MTN app, and tap broadband or dial *5057# to get your preferred unlimited MTN fiber package. This season, connect to your home or a loved one's home and you stand the chance of winning amazing shopping vouchers from MTN. Do know that terms and conditions apply. Let's now bring you a playback of a conversation my colleague Kodjo Mensah had with the Director of Presidential Initiatives in Agriculture and Agribusiness at the Office of the President, Dr. Peter Bama Otokuno.